And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So there's a lot to go through in today's video. We have a little update with regards to a player that we've been linked to in the past, as Fabrizio Romano has given us some insight on that potential transfer. But before I do get into the main story of today's video, of course, I do want to discuss yesterday's results against St Johnstone as we won 3-1. I feel like overall it was a very convincing win from Celtic. I think we did very, very well. Of course, we won 3-1, as I just mentioned, but you could have quite easily argued there could have been another 4 or 5 goals in Celtic from Celtic in that game, and you know, due to a lot of offside calls and a lot of chances missed, it was only 3 goals that we scored. But I think the overall performance was very, very good, and I think we can look at that game and be very happy with that result and the way that we played, to be completely honest with you. So when it came to the starting 11, I wasn't too shocked. I think it was pretty... The 11 kind of picked itself, I felt like, for this game. Of course, Kyogo started after his goal against Livingston, I think rightfully so as well. You could have argued maybe it was a bit harsh on Adam Idah, given how good he's been in recent weeks, but I think to try and get Kyogo back to his best, he needs to be getting regular game time, and if you just score a goal in a match like he did against Livingston, you have to kind of reward him by starting him again. And of course, he paid Brendan Rodgers his faith back in him by scoring a goal yesterday as well. And I feel like, I'll get into his individual performance in just a second, but I feel like he had a very good game, one of his best so far this season, of what's been a difficult campaign for him, and a difficult campaign for Celtic as a whole, really. And I think Kuhn as well, Nicholas Kuhn, he did really, really well. He had this game to kind of build on the momentum that he got from Livingston. I thought he was brilliant against Livingston last week, and I feel like he had a good game as well. Probably my man of the match for yesterday. And I feel like everyone as a whole, the whole squad, there wasn't really any player that had a bad game in my personal opinion. I thought that the substitutes that came on performed really well, and everyone did the job that we kind of wanted them to do in this match. And this isn't something that we've been able to say quite a lot this season. We have struggled in a lot of different games throughout the season. Certain players haven't performed up to the standard of Celtic. But I feel like yesterday, as a whole, I think every single player did their job well, and I think everyone played pretty good. There was no real standout player that I'd want to negatively talk about in that match. But there's players that I do want to speak positively about, and the first one is Nicholas Kuhn, as I previously mentioned. Of course, I don't want to get too carried away with him and say this man's going to be a star for Celtic for many years to come, but he's definitely on the right path, and he's been really impressive in his last couple of games. I know you could argue it's only been Livingston and St Johnstone. They're not having the best seasons themselves. It's definitely a good starting point, a good building place to grow from. And I feel like, again, yesterday he was personally my man of the match. I think obviously getting a goal and assist, he was superb. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now and showing us what he can do and what he can offer us in matches. Definitely for me right now, the starting player in the wide areas for us. He needs to be starting week in, week out, and trying to build from this confidence that he clearly has and this form that he's showing in the last few games. Of course, when he first came to the club in January, the first few games for him were a struggle, but you could just say he was getting used to the league, getting used to a new environment, a new country. We've definitely done really, really good in the last few games, and I think if he can perform in the bigger matches, of course we are on international duty now, the players are on international break, on international duty. If he can build from this good run of form the last few games against the bigger teams, of course we have Livingston again away, then Rangers in the derby game, so definitely a good chance for him to show what he can do in the bigger matches as well. But yeah, Kuhn was really good, my man of the match, but of course Kyogo deserves praise as well. He was superb. As I mentioned at the start of the video, looked more like his old self from what we've seen in previous campaigns. Been a struggle for him this year. Been a struggle for Celtic as a whole, really. Obviously a new manager came in, Brendan Rodgers. Kyogo's not played under him before. He's getting used to the way that he plays and the way that he wants him to play. I have said before, I don't think he suits Brendan Rodgers' style of play, to be honest with you, but I feel like yesterday was his best performance so far I've seen this season from him. Just the way he carried the ball, his movement off the ball, his movement for his goal, his first goal as well, I thought it was superb. And yeah, looked more like his old self in that match, so I'm really happy to see him get on the score sheet again, and hopefully he can build from this and try and have a good end to his season, and go into the next one a lot better and more like his old self. So of course, as I mentioned, we are on international break now. We are away now until March 31st. I hate international duty, I hate international breaks, especially when it's friendlies. It's just so boring. But we are back against Livingston away on March 31st, and of course the derby game is a week after that on April the 7th at Ibrox. So a big couple of weeks ahead for us. Hopefully we can build on this performance, and it's going to get down to the wire now with this title race. Of course, Rangers are playing today at some point against Dundee, so hopefully they can drop points in that match. We'll keep an eye out for that one, of course, but that's still not kicked off as the time I'm recording this video. So the news I want to discuss, the main story with regards to Fabrizio Romano, is with a player that we've been linked to in the past. So as you all know, now Joe Hart is retiring at the end of the season. Celtic will be in the market for a new goalkeeper come the summertime. A couple of names that have been linked to us, of course. The main one's probably Kelleher from Liverpool. That one seems increasingly unlikely as he's getting more game time in Liverpool right now, as Alisson is currently out injured. And the other one was Andrew Lunin from Real Madrid initially as well. But that's a similar case now, and Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on this because Ancelotti has spoken out about Lunin and what he offers Real Madrid, and this transfer looks increasingly more unlikely to happen for us. So Ancelotti said, "We found a great goalkeeper in Lunin. He can give us guarantees. We will see how Courtois and Militao will return after serious injuries. We're not in a rush." So the last few games since Courtois has been out injured, many expected Kepa Arrizabalaga to start for Real Madrid, but it has been Andrew Lunin as their starting goalkeeper, and this man was linked to us last summer and just before the Jan transfer window as well, before we started getting a real run of games under his belt. It is a shame he missed out on these type of players. Obviously Kelleher coming through the door would be brilliant, a really good goalkeeper, and of course Lunin would have been really good for us as well, but it seems like we're going to have to look elsewhere for a goalkeeper replacement for Joe Hart. Do I have a lot of faith in our recruitment team to get the right person in through the door? Not really, but I am an optimist, so hopefully we can get someone that can replace Joe Hart quite comfortably and maybe succeed what he's done at Celtic as well for us in the last few years. But it's going to be a tough ask to replace Hart. He's been really good in the last few weeks. Gave him a lot of stick at the start of the season, but credit where credit's due in recent weeks. He's been really good for us, trying to get the most clean sheets possible before he retires and hangs up his boots at the end of the season. But yeah, Andrew Lunin seems like it won't be the case. He won't be the goalkeeper to replace him, and neither will Kelleher as things stand right now, because they are both getting a lot of game time at their respective clubs, which is a massive blow for us, I suppose. These two goalkeepers are really good, and they're the ones that I really wanted for us to look towards, that type of quality. Bit of a statement signing as well, getting these type of quality in through the door would be good for us come the summertime. But that's all to come, really. The transfer window is going to get closer and closer, of course. Season's coming to an end. Hopefully we can win this title. It's going to be a big ask. Rangers are in good form, and I think yesterday was a good chance for us to build from as well. We looked really good. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on yesterday's result against St Johnstone. And yeah, let us know what you make of Fabrizio Romano's update on Lunin as well. A bit of a blow for us in terms of a transfer move for him. But as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.